I'd just like to take a moment and say Happy Independence Day to everybody out there. You know, we're 244 years old today as a nation. We did not get here overnight. And just like a person that lives to be any time of age, even in the 20s, we've made some good choices and we've made some horrible choices. If we're remembered just for our bad parts and bad times, isn't that the same as remembering someone else for the wrongs that they did one time and holding that over their head? See, as a nation, we also did a lot of good stuff too. Doesn't make us perfect. It won't make us perfect. Independence Day, 4th of July. We usually hear the Star Spangled Banner. I dread hearing the Star Spangled Banner for one reason. My grandpa. See, he fought in World War II. He refused to talk about it to anyone. But one day, when I was in elementary, I asked him to talk to me about it so I can do a book report. And he agreed. Everybody in the family was shocked, but they all sat around listening to him. And as he described what it was like whenever men was taken from their home and put out there to fight. When they went, some voluntary, some told, to lands that they never heard of, digging ditches just trying to survive one more night. They never know if they were going to wake up the next morning or not. You're talking about people of all color, red, white, black, yellow, didn't matter. They weren't fighting for a race. They were fighting for their families back home. They were fighting for the men and women that raised them, that brought them over, that took care of them, that would wake up at sunrise and work to sunset just to put food on the table. You didn't have the marketplace. You can just run down the store and get wherever you wanted. You didn't have big old factories trying to pump out everything. People knew how to do stuff, but it took them all day to do it. You had people going over there that one night would have black hair, but wake up the next morning totally white from the shock and the stress. People dying right beside you. There's nothing you can do, not knowing if the next round was going to be for you. This is men and women that stood for something. See, whenever you listen to that Star Spangled Banner, it's not talking about a race. It's not talking about any kind of political stand. It's talking about the men and women that died, that went out and fought. The men and women that didn't know if they were going to make it back home with their loved ones. They weren't dying in an air conditioning room somewhere or pain relievers. They were out there getting parts of the body blown off. They were out there laying in the gutter not knowing if anybody was going to come to their aid. And a lot of times they didn't because they couldn't find them or they couldn't see them or they couldn't even make it there themselves. They did all that to keep the war away from their families. That's the reason why we have that Star Spangled Banner. That's the reason for all these notes in it. Because people bled for this country. People bled so we can have the right to sit over here and say, hey, this right here is my belief. Without having to worry about if someone was going to kill you because of it. Or if you're going to be put in prison because of it. But now, it seems that people wants to be entitled to everything. The older generation to shut up and just pay them for sitting at home on their butt. The people that was going to war The reason why it affected them so bad is they were not given games for killing, to practice killing as a kid. They were taught to talk to their neighbor. They were brought up to love humanity in general and to work for what you wanted. Not get out there and cry about something you didn't have. I know this isn't going to be taken well by some, but that's what the Star Spangled Banner means to me. It's about the flag of unity, a symbol. No matter what color, no matter what nationality, no matter what creed or religion, that you could still come together and unite for a common cause. Jesus says in the Bible, a nation divided will not stand. And it's true. And right now, this nation is divided. More than anything, we're divided. Dr. Ben Carson, great man. I heard him say something a couple of nights ago. He's a brain surgeon. And he's operated and he's on so many different people. But he said whenever he goes in to a person's brain, they're all the same, no matter what color they are. So there's nothing there to distinguish a white person from a black person, from an Indian or whatever. So they're all the same. And that is what makes a person who they are. Their behavior, their attitudes, what they can amount to, their hopes, their dreams, everything, the way they function is in there. The same God that created me created you, no matter what color your skin you have, no matter what nation you came from. If you trace the DNA back, you're going to find it comes from the same one man, one woman. I don't care what color skin you have. So today I'd like to say Happy Independence Day to a nation that's going through a hard time right now with this epidemic and everything else. And there is a lot of hurt out there right now, a lot of sorrow. And I don't want to take anything away from that. But I do want to remind you that a nation divided will not stand, just like the Bible said. And after this life, no matter how we end it, no matter how we go out, we will all stand before that same Maker that made us. We will all stand before that same Lord that's already came down here to show us the way. And if you want to read how he feels about everything, then open the book we call the Bible. It all points to him, cover to cover. But his words, the words that he said, you'll find between the first 4 books of the New Testament. What he went through in this life. May God bless you. And let's remember the men and women that died for us, both spiritually and physically. Let's try to honor them today. That's really what it's about. May God bless.